Hi, my name's Andrew and welcome to High Road. In today's video I'm going to be making some ergonomic tweaks to my foot drums. Welcome back. In the last video you might remember I'd finally settled on a layout and a design for my foot drums, and once it was all up and running I started to discover some ergonomic problems that made it a little bit difficult to play. So today I'm going to address some of those issues. So first of all, the design for the left foot kick and snare system is really good. I'm really happy with it. In fact, I'm so happy with this design that I actually took it out and did a gig with it the other day, and it was great. It worked just as I'd hoped. It sounded awesome, and it was just really satisfying to finally be able to take it out and use it. And its key sort of ergonomic feature is that the foot is basically level. So when my shoe is on here, the heel and the toe are roughly the same height. So because of that, it creates a feeling that the right foot should be balanced and should be level in the same way, same height, same kind of orientation. So when you look at the right foot, which is an unmodified pedal, my right foot would be sitting with the heel very low and the toe quite high. So my goal for the two right foot pedals is to actually lift them up and move them back a little bit like this, so that the toe or the whole foot feels kind of flatter and elevated like the left foot, but also so that when I'm swiveling my toe side to side and switching pedals, so that my toe doesn't get caught between these two posts, which was an issue. And I'm going to do this with a lump of wood and a bunch of nuts and bolts. So let me explain what I've done here. I mean, obviously I've put a wooden block under the heel, but it's this is what it looked like to begin with. So I've drilled a double set of mounting holes for the base plate of the kick pedal, and I've drilled three of the same holes, I don't know, about 6 centimeters back, something like that. So I'm able to offset the heel of the kick pedal. So these three that used to mount into the heel, they actually mount into the wooden block, and these three mount into the heel. So that's allowed me to actually get more height and move the whole thing back and be more ergonomic for what I need. So this is the simpler of the two pedals. This one has the switch in the heel. So because it has that electronics stuff mounted in there, I have to make allowance for that with the way I mount it on to here. Because you might remember I was a bit unhappy with how much this switch stuck up out of the pedal, and I wanted to actually recess it a bit deeper down into the pedal. So I'm going to have to redesign this as I'm going. Okay, so here's what I've done. I've enlarged that hole so that I can poke this through from the back, and it sits much more flush than it used to. Much more flush. In order to mount it that way, I've created this little piece of metal that I've cut into shape from a 1mm, just a bit of 1mm flat steel. The switch sits in there like that, and I'm actually going to just screw it in place using my normal nuts and bolts. But then this piece is going to mount inside the back of there, and I'm going to rivet that in place. So the switch will be held there really tightly. So there's the final switch assembly. It's been riveted in there. It's very low profile, and that should work nicely. There we go. Now I can flip between each pedal really easily, and this switch is much easier to operate. Nothing in my way here when I try and switch between the two pedals. Yep, really good. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this series, because I'm actually going to take a little break from it now. Because the ergonomic adjustments have been made to this and it's really playable, I need to go away and do some practice so that when I come back to you I can show you what I can do, and it's going to be a bit more professional. In the meantime, I'm actually going to be building a guitar that's going to integrate with these pedals. You might remember in some of the earlier episodes I talked about having a guitar with individual string pickups that I can use to run into an octave pedal and trigger bass notes. Well, I wanted to build a guitar anyway, so this is just an excuse to do that. But this guitar, as I mentioned, will integrate with the foot drums, and the whole thing is going to be quite the production. So I hope you've enjoyed this series so far. I'm going to press pause on it for a little bit, no more foot drums for a while, and you can follow my guitar building series that's coming up next. See you in the next video.